What is going on, everybody? Antonius the Gamer here with my two co-hosts, Mikkel Smith and Super SSS Rank. We are the Press Start Select podcast. Back once again, back reunited as a trio for episode 59 of the podcast. Fellas, how are we feeling tonight?
Good, excited, man. Ready to get
All
into
right,
to these topics, man.
yeah, me too. I'm like, man, you normally see like the list of topics and it feels a little bit daunting, but I'm like, no, I am ready to tackle every single topic.
Everybody, yeah, because boy,
So let's start with the quote unquote older news, even though he keeps reinserting himself in this conversation and kind of work our way down. The first topic being good old Randy Pitchford and the Borderlands 4 rollout. Now, for those gamers who haven't really been keeping up with the news, Randy Pitchford is a very outspoken top head in his company, and he says a lot of head scratching things fairly often. The Borderlands movie being good, being one of the more recent ones. Of like, I don't know if you saw what the rest of the world saw, but no. Um, but
a very
he
young
recently.
Kate Blanchett playing
Here's how we build a franchise.
playing Siren.
Oh,
Okay, let's
God.
do it. Let's do it. Sounds good.
Yeah, but he got himself in hot water and then reinserted himself back in the hot water with a tweet and then the apology tweet.
You
And
mean when you mean taking a page out of Don Matrix playbook?
yeah, that was when he got himself back in hot water, when he was like,
Okay.
I'm trying to clean it up, but I'm going to make it worse for myself at the same time.
Yeah, let's do
For
it.
those who don't know, Randy Pitchford basically said in response to a fan asking him to not put Borderlands 4 at $80, he said in not so many words, one, it's not my call, and two, real fans will find a way to make it happen. Because when I had my first job and was living under my parents' care, I saved up my ice cream shop job money and bought the game that I really wanted in a better economic time, under better living conditions, and with more expendable income. So, you real fan in this global crisis that we're having, where the price of eggs has fluctuated, you will find a way to make it happen.
Yep.
And the internet rightfully
Lost coins.
right? And the internet rightfully cooked him. So then he cleans it up, quote unquote, cleans it up by saying to our real fans who may be cost sensitive, the very awesome and incredibly fun smash hit video game Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is free this week on the Epic's Game Store. Please enjoy this free gift by grabbing your free copy here. So, fellas, what do we think about what Randy has said about his IP and his response to the real fans out there?
Well, to be honest, just even using the term "real," that's first of all, that internet language always makes me very cringe. It's kind of like, first of all, I, I I would definitely say this: Borderlands as a series has been struggling to me. I felt like after two, and then I would say the side off spin-off story that Telltale did, like after Tales of the Borderland one,
Mm-hmm.
like Borderlands as a series has been very like hit or miss. They did a prequel, they did a sequel, they did three, which had two yearly season passes, and then you did a short story, you did a movie. It's like, and then now you're coming out with a number four, and it's like, bro, like this is a lot.
I
This is a
mean,
lot.
can we even go over the casting for 4?
Do we know the
For
casting
the
for 4?
movie?
Oh, the movie. No, the movie don't really
Kevin
count.
Yeah, the
Kevin?
movie doesn't
Well,
make
The
it.
movie don't
Yeah,
count.
but
but it,
it's like, what was its purpose if not to push numbers?
so to get back to my point, like I think he's hit a point where he's very full of himself. Like I do feel like they're trying to really, like how you said, and like a lot of people are just trying to bank off the IPs alone.
Mhm.
It's really showing like, nah, bro, don't be so boastful as you think. Things could turn on you just like that. Because now, look, now you have to give a whole side story away
Yeah,
for free
yeah.
for a week.
Not only that, Tim. You now, so let's people. I would say people have been. I can't even say negative or optimistic. Cautious about Borderlands 4. Of like, maybe it'll be good. We don't really know.
It
But
looks
now,
boring. It looks boring.
but see, but look, by
It looks
saying that, you now Borderlands 4 has to be fire. It has to be, because you couldn't get your foot out your mouth long enough to put, to just promote the game. Like you said, it looks boring. So if it's not fun, if it's not all these things that he's promoting it to be, guess what's gonna happen now? Now you're really gonna get cooked.
Because honestly, that state of play footage, I was like, this looks like Borderlands 3.5.
With
3.5.
better
Oh, actually,
graphics.
bro, it didn't even look like that. It just looks like maybe like another DLC pack that y'all are trying to promote as another full game. Because we've seen it happen many times before. Halo ODST is like people turn one expansion pack idea into a full game.
And you know what doesn't help? What doesn't help is like we've made Borderlands even more grounded.
What do you mean?
Exactly. Exactly. How do you make Borderlands more what about Borderlands is grounded anyway?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what got me. I'm just okay. I mean, how do I discern that? Is it gonna be what I can't jump 75 feet in the air now? I can only hold two guns now?
Mm.
I don't know. So yeah, what does that mean compared to Borderlands? So um I just don't I just they don't uh, yeah, yeah.
You got a loss for words.
I mean, he did. I would say this: he did proper damage control. I mean, if he wants numbers or streams for the week of how many new players chimed in, okay, you gave something for free. But then now the real test is coming is when your next product comes out, because now we're about to see who the real fans are.
Right. It's like you said, Tim. It's like that internet language just invites a way of thinking that people would not have really encouraged before. Of like, yeah, people are like, you know what? Just for that, I'm gonna pirate this game. Just to show you something. Just to
Out of
teach you a
spite.
little something. Just to learn you something real quick. I'm gonna pirate this game. And then we'll see. Because as we're seeing with a lot of these games, especially with these quote unquote IP protected games, nothing is sacred, right? One of the things that kept making the news is that this new Doom game, it's not sales wise, it's not, doing what people expected Doom to do.
To be honest,
Mm,
like I said, bro, like a lot of these things are kind of looking like, I would say, like DLC packs that they're just promoting as full games. Like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
do this medieval style version of Doom. I was like, how long is it? Like, is it honestly, bro? This just looks like I said, a story expansion that you're selling as a full game.
Mhm. With
I
completely
mean, to be
different,
honest,
well, not completely different mechanics, but different mechanics. It's like,
mhm.
remember when we were talking about Guilty Gear Strive and we're just like, I just want my insta kills back. Like there's just certain things like, why would you remove a staple from this fighting series?
Oh, but then
Why?
we wanted to make it more general across the board. Like, no, bro, stop doing that.
Mhm.
That is a staple to the series. Like, for example, like I remember when me and Jory was going at it for Devil May Cry, like, but he had a very valuable point. You know, Capcom, like, when it comes to Dante or I would say Mega Man, where are the weapons that he gets from defeating people? Like, where are the devil arms?
Mhm.
So even with this, it's like why are you taking away something that is so unique to this series? Because honestly, I'm telling you, these character packs are not saving y'all. Like,
Yeah.
yes, these are very beautifully designed characters. This new one, her motorcycle is like a rail gun. I'm like, that's very cool.
Mhm.
But
very cool.
Mhm.
where's that patch? And we all waiting for that Lucy gameplay to see, what that looks like.
Yeah. It's just it's like, even with our Fatal Fury take, right? That everyone was like hating on but silently agreeing with. It's like, in your attempt to reach more people, you're losing the people that got you here in the first place. Of like, your ways, you still have to kind of feed your core fan base first before everything. So insulting them, belittling them, trusting that they're going to be there no matter what, it's like you're taking a pretty big leap of faith here that does not seem wise.
Yeah, prime example. With the Virtua Fighter Revo, the upgrade that's coming to PS5, Xbox, and Sega hasn't answered back yet, but like PlayStation people are like, hey, is this going to be a free upgrade? Because we got the last version, but we're not going to buy something just because it has robot. So where's the free upgrade? No answer. They're going to have to answer it because that is a very big thing,
Oh,
bro.
of course.
Because you know what I think they should do? Remember how they did the rollout for Virtua Fighter Ultimate Showdown on PlayStation in the past? Remember they made when it released, it was a PlayStation Plus free game. I feel like do that again. Just do it again. Just do it again, so that way even if you don't do an upgrade path, at least now a person has a whole month to click one button,
Yeah.
download,
Upgrade your account for a month, download it,
just
downgrade.
call it a day. So, but then like how you just said, man, you can't just be banking off that people are just gonna be like, no, bro, this economy is shifting. You could be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
I did not say that.
You did. But
a billion guns is not gonna save Borderlands.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, to me, I'm like, and sometimes like I understand that not everything appeals to everybody, right? So like, and I know this is gonna be kind of a wild comparison, but hear me out. It's like, remember when fidget spinners were popular? That's how I look at Borderlands. Of like, I think I get it, but I don't think this has what I'm being told it has. Like, I don't see a fidget spinner anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like they were there and they were cool until they weren't. And I feel like with Borderlands,
Or them scooters,
yeah,
COVID scooters.
or even when we were kids, remember when they used to sell us the custom yo-yos where this yo-yo only does these two tricks? What?
Yeah.
This one walks the dog and does around the world. But if you want to loop the loop, you need the Sonic XXX 4 yo-yo. And what happened?
Oh my God,
like that's just how I look. I'm like, I guess to sum up the Borderlands thing, unless you guys have like a thing to add, I just don't think I'm seeing confidence that I just don't think is earned, if that makes sense, in a weird way of like, I just don't know where all this confidence is coming from. Your movie flopped. Your games are people are cautious. I can't say negative, are cautious about re-engaging with this franchise. What about this do you feel so sure on that you about to fire from the hip and this be like the real fans will show up? It's like, who are the fans? Who is this fan base? Who are these people? Harpo, who this woman? Like that kind of energy. Any final thoughts on that one, or we'll see?
We'll definitely see. I mean, when the reviews come out, because honestly, it's looking like a 7 to me. They'll give it a 7 out of pure respect, I would say, or like a pat on the shoulder, like, yeah, you did good, all right. But
solid attempt.
Remember, it's a long term sales because everybody's focused about money now. What them sales looking like?
Yeah, and let's not forget that Borderlands. Content creator had pointed this out that Borderlands really does most of its sales through discounts. A lot of the numbers that they move are not day one, week one, month one. It's like after a significant sale or a bundle or some type of packaging. That's when they really move their units.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, bro, like you very like you're not that guy.
it's not.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that shell shaded graphical world is interesting to a degree. Like I don't take it serious to me once I see something cell shaded, like to the degree that it is. I mean, I'm already, I feel like I'm playing I feel like I'm looking at that the game that you rent at Blockbuster that you just happen to have an add-on because your mom said allows you to get an extra game. And then it's actually more fun than it looks, but you're not dedicating your life to that.
Yeah. I mean, to your credit, Dory, like I think it goes back to what you said of like when you start to see a certain price point, you really stop and think. There, like that whole like I'm just gonna buy it off the strength is like, man, $80 for Borderlands? Like it just it's like it just. I think you start inviting a conversation because again, we're seeing it over and over and over again with Mario Kart World of like, does this look like an $80 Mario Kart? I don't know, right? And it's like, why would you even invite that top? Like let them like you're gonna do your numbers. You people have already accepted 70. You put it at 70, throw in a little DLC trickery like all these companies do, and call it a day. So yeah, I just thought that was a hilarious way of like, man, it's just like pick pick a gaming CEO of like who's gonna say something crazy to their fans right before a release. But speaking more of game studio leaders and things going awry, we've come to find out that the founder of the studio that's working on Fairgames, the next live service attempt from the good old folks at PlayStation, has either left her job or been asked to leave from her job. Um, and again, the rumor is that there was kind of like a pre-play test to kind of see where the game was at. And again, going by the rumor or the insiders, Sony wasn't too pleased at what they saw for Fair Games. So, guys, what are our thoughts on third time's the charm with PlayStation's live service attempt with Fair Games? So can we all agree that Marathon's cooked? I don't think it's pretty much unsavable at this point. I would imagine.
We didn't we say what we needed to say last pod
But we
about
did.
Marathon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cooked. It's fried eggs, man.
Yeah.
It's underneath the pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that thing that doesn't come off underneath the pan. Yeah,
There's a state of play
yeah, that's
tomorrow,
what
and I
that is.
don't expect to see Marathon at all during the state of play.
Yeah, yeah. Cause like you're gonna sell a game, right? Imagine if you did that with Doom. That's an NES classic.
Mhm.
That's like your 13th Chapel game,
Mhm.
and you're gonna name it Marathon, right? And you're gonna name it something completely. You're gonna take it in a completely different direction, not even having anything to do with the original lore establishment. I just don't know where. I just don't know how that works, man. I just don't know how that
I
works.
mean, clearly it's not. Like, that's
Yeah,
the thing.
and then you decide to still continue even after seeing the demolished Concord, because Concord and y'all not that different,
No.
right? And then you say you're an extraction shooter.
And even people who are extraction shooter fans will tell you that extraction shooters are not fun in the best of times. Imagine all three of us were in a lobby spending 2 hours on gathering a loot, and then I don't know, I get sniped from halfway across the map, and all my loot is just gone. Oh,
Gone
okay.
forever.
Uninstall. Delete.
Like,
Yeah, like that
I
should be
get
a mode. That should never be a focal point of a game. It's like a mode. You can't sell these things as as standalone games. It's just hilarious to me.
Mhm.
And people fall for it.
I don't think they do anymore though.
No, no, I'm glad because when we tell them, "Oh, you're not getting the game," yeah, Warzone should just be a regular mode, and it kind of is now. You
Mhm.
pay for the campaign, so kudos to them. Um, but yeah, the big team battle royale, like we did this stuff in Halo. It
Mhm.
just wasn't as it just wasn't as widespread.
Yeah.
You know, like these game modes were created before that. It's if anything, it's just PUBG.
Yeah.
PUBG with copied and pasted by a company with a little bit more money.
And good
There you
shooting
go.
mechanics, right? I think that was part
And
of it
better
too.
shooting
Like
mechanics, yeah.
Bungie, there's a lot of faith in Bungie as a developer.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But they also sell it as if it's the original team from
I
Bungie that's
know.
there.
I
And it's
know.
not. It's from the creators of Halo, from the studio
Yeah,
that
from
brought
the
you. And like, no,
studio that yeah.
brought you Halo. But then that doesn't mean anything anymore either. Because now I know that, yo, let me see. Uh okay. At and Kai, oh, they're no longer a part of the they moved on and they create rebrand studios. Yeah, yeah, no, it's not you
Mhm.
guys anymore.
Mhm.
It's not you guys anymore.
Oh, the creative
It's not.
visionaries behind this. Okay, well,
No. You're better off saying the director.
yeah,
The
yeah,
director. You have to say the director now, because that's what you guys wanted to be.
yeah,
You have to say the director now.
Like for me, because I remember we said this about like when Sony kind of basically took over Evo and the fighting game community. You could tell that they're trying to really cover as much tournament spaces as possible,
for sure.
and especially in terms of these type of shooters, they make a lot of good money in terms of like microtransactions, so it's constant flow of money coming in. So I get it. They're trying to create something from a first party standpoint
Hmm.
versus a third. But I think like it's first of all it's tough because the third party studios have covered so much ground
Yeah.
over these last, I wouldn't even say, yeah, ever since PS3 till now, that is like, bro, like it's kind of too late.
Hmm.
So I do feel like they should just focus on, I guess I'll use this as an example, like use your studios because these are very creative studios. I'll give them that. Like these studios are very creative when they're given the right space to create something. Let them create like, I mean, you don't have to say a spiritual successor, but like if you want to get back into shooters where you want to integrate your own first party focus, do that. Like, follow the Halo Killzone Resistance format. Bring back something that people love. Like
Right.
people miss the story. It has some good multiplayer and co-op aspects of it. Cool. You drop a few map packs, call it a day. That stuff still works.
Yeah.
It still works. And then because people keep saying like, yeah, man, are you adding anything else to this legacy, or are you just trying to give us a Fortnite copy that you're trying to last for another 3 generations?
And more often than not, it seems to be the latter every single time. Every
Yeah,
single time.
because and now depending on how whatever this studio goes through, I hope they don't get the axe because of that. And it's
Tim,
like,
come on
I
now.
was like, it's painful, man, because it's not fair to people, bro.
No,
It's really
it's
not
not.
fair.
It's not. The fact
Like
that the CEOs
you,
making these decisions get to skate away is ridiculous, but
like you put so much effort into building PlayStation studios, but then I kind of feel like the only people who are safe is Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Sucker Punch, and who's the other one?
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica and the
Hmm.
guy who makes Gran Turismo. I feel like they're the only five who are safe
Hmm.
because you have a guaranteed selling product from all of them, but then everybody else is like in this limbo.
Create or
Like
die. Literally.
Media Molecule is right there, but they haven't created anything since like Dreams, and you got all these other people. You only want to use one studio to do PC ports, which I just find that is very like crazy. It's just like, yeah, bro, like Housemark, doing their thing from time to time. But it's just like, bro, like Sony, Ben Studio, Team Asobi, who gave you a game of the year,
Gave you a
but
mascot on top of the game of the year.
gave you Buzz Lightyear
Yeah.
that you replaced Woody. So it's just, it's unfortunate, man. It
Hmm.
really is. And I feel like, bro, you could do a shooter. Like that's not the problem, but you got to understand this, bro. Like that space is very dangerous, very dangerous.
It's almost like, and you guys can correct me
So,
if I'm.
actually,
Mhm.
actually, because you know what's a great example, and I'm so crazy that I didn't even think about this. Like, look at Helldivers. You created a shooter that has its own identity
Mhm.
and it's doing well.
It's doing amazing. What
Like, yeah, you
if
don't
Starship Troopers? What?
like, yeah, you don't have to do it like on a focus like that. But
Mhm.
then, like I said, like you could do your cinematic story driven sci-fi shooter or whatever that you want to call it. You could still do those. It's only like people are still asking you for two franchises that you have dodging us about. Yeah, if you don't want to return to those, okay, give one of your other studios the green lit to create
Yeah,
something.
bro. And
Create something.
what's Tim? It's funny you brought up Helldivers because I finally took my wrapping off the game and played it. And one of the things that I thought was so dope, like, because you speak about this a lot in particular about the whole like engaging everybody outside of this the the game itself. One of the things that they did that I thought was so smart is that when they launch a new planet, whether that planet stays or not during the next season depends on how many players engage on that planet. So if you don't save the planet, quote unquote, in game, it gets taken over by the invaders. So it's like when you're doing the social media campaign of help liberate Mars or whatever the case, whatever they end up calling it. It's like it's a real thing because look, the future of this planet getting expanded on depends on whether or
How
not you
many
engage it. And it's just like that just makes sense. It doesn't feel, yes, it's like obviously, it's engagement, it's the microtransactions, the battle passes is there, but it feels organic. It doesn't feel like you're like just selling this to me or sectioning off a gameplay feature to sell it to me. And I think that's why it's working. And I guess like my question to you guys is like, and I guess the opposite essentially of what we said to Borderlands, like what about Fairgames and Marathon seem more appealing to Sony instead of Last of Us Factions and Spider-Man the Great Web? I don't get it. Like if anything, if you were gonna sell a live service thing, like these would have been the properties to like you said, Tim, give it to another team. Don't let Naughty Dog and Insomniac make it, and prosper.
I could say
I think with The Last of Us, I think, and we've said this before, once you make a show property, certain things get messy down the line, or like I would say, maybe too much resources are extracted. Like, yeah, I don't really know how much of a hand Sony had in terms of the production, but obviously, yeah, like, when you announced the whole show component, like a lot of things just got shelved. And then, Spider-Man, I just think maybe they were giving Insomniac too much work to do because, like, how Mighty Keith said, does Wolverine still exist? Like, we don't know.
Maybe we
And
find
it's
out
like,
tomorrow.
it was such a quick, like, transfer. It's like, bro, like, we barely finished Spider-Man 2 yet, and y'all announcing a whole new game. It's like, maybe it's burnout. It's probably burnout, bro.
No, I think it was licensing.
For Spider-Man?
Yeah.
No, because Sony owns the rights on, I would
They
say,
don't. They're paying for the rights currently.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty
a
high too. It's
lot
like
of
30% of all sales.
yeah, I think it's licensing, dog. Because it's like I really think it's licensing because the Spider-Man did well enough for them to be like, okay, let's get a part two. Let's see if we can get it more of a return next time. And they're gonna keep anteing up, and I think right now that's why we see who would cancel a Black Panther game in today's time, right? That just seems like a nonsensical thing to do.
Mhm.
Um, what else games are they canceling, right? But why not cancel the Captain America game first? But eh, let's I'm just like I'm only saying that because it's just like okay, I don't. Why am I playing as Captain America and Black Panther? Then you got a Black Panther game coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, do
what's
you want to
going
get into
on?
that proper, or you want to give it your
Well,
final thoughts on?
yeah. My final thoughts is yeah, I think it's licensing, and I just why would we give you what you want? Why? Why would we give you what you want? What? Why? Why believe in Concord, right? Versus already existing IPs.
Mm.
Something like Horizon Zero Dawn having multiplayer would have probably made more sense.
Well, remember now it's getting its own standalone game for multiplayer. So
You mean the Chinese version
no,
of?
not that one. There's another one
Oh,
in the works.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm
yeah.
playing the Chinese version. I don't know about you. After playing Power World. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, why would we give you what you want? Why would we, there's there was a they still want to do live service because it's this unrealistic pop the balloon challenge where they feel that these standards, ever since reaching them during COVID, are the standards for the no,
Yep.
no,
If we just push a
it's
little
not.
harder, it's like no, man,
It's not. It's
no.
just like the gold rush. And no, no, no.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, me, me, Sue Ellen, I'm coming back. I'm gonna go find me some gold. Me and the boy. No, you, you dummy.
Yeah.
No, you
All the
dummy.
gold worth getting is gone.
It's gone, bro. It's gone, man.
Yeah.
It's gone, man. Yeah,
No.
like yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's just, it's the California Fool's Gold, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go turn this in. Yeah, it's just it's not the environment, the ecosystem. That was a once in a lifetime thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite right now is declining day by day
Mm-hmm.
because it realized it was just faithful to an age group
Who are now getting older.
who are now getting older and like, yo, you know what? I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just like the situation with arcades. It'll be those that
Bro.
like it. That's what I liken it to. It's just like the fidget
Mm.
spinners. You grow out of it. How many times did I tell these kids? I say, yo, you're not gonna be playing this game for long. I'm telling you. I mean, who wants to build? Who wants to see somebody build in the Empire State Building and snipe off the top of
Right,
it? And I gotta come find you
right.
now. Like, who wants to do that,
Right.
right? And then now, if you jump off, you got to deal with fall damage.
Right.
Like, what do you
But S rank, but you can scale that building with Spider-Man or Aaron from Attack on Titan. Why is that not engaging?
it's gonna it's just not. Imagine if there was a Pokemon game that did that. Nobody's playing you. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
thing is falling flat. Well, you mean to tell me I could hop on my Moltres and fly to the building and take you out? Yeah, let's do it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you ideas, Power World. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I just don't see why people would be so foolish to think that this thing would be a forever thing. Like you doing all these collabs that you have to do to keep afloat because you see things are dwindling. That cog machine was for a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only investment that you could probably make that's going to be a guarantee is building on top of something that makes sense. You want a live service game? You have several IPs to choose from.
Yeah.
Several IPs to choose. Okay, let's put Spider-Man off the table because there's licensing. We don't know what Marvel's doing right now.
Mm.
Marvel is scratching their heads, crossing their fingers, just
Mm.
like DC.
Mm-hmm.
This Superman movie better come through.
Jeez.
Um,
Too much pressure.
dude. So I just so we can go on. Like, give me what are some games Sony could have
The only thing
paid
I think
attention
that could
to?
have worked just due to the success of the multiplayer component, if they had really wanted to breathe more life into the Ghost of Tsushima franchise and made that live service, I could see that working. If they had taken that multiplayer component and really expanded on it,
Well, we don't know yet.
well, you're right. Who knows, bruh? You right. Ghost of Yote could be the exact thing. I'm like, oh, never mind.
I honestly, here's what I would have did if I was Sony. I would have take Days Gone. Let's hear me out. The only
Mm,
reason why I say that is because Days Gone already has a system to where things can happen naturally on its own,
okay, I'm with you with that.
right?
Hmm.
Two, the game was bad. Why? I don't think it's because of story. I just think it was probably. All right, we'll give that a
Yeah.
pass. But if it's multiplayer, who's gonna complain,
Hmm.
right? Who's gonna complain? Now we have many opportunities to revamp another side story that's actually fire.
Hmm.
Right, let's do that. So you already have an interesting world. Some of the scenarios I seen that were taking place off of gameplay, I said, yo, this game is fun. This
Yeah.
game is definitely fun,
No one
right?
complained about the
So now,
gameplay of Days Gone. That was never
so
really the issue.
okay, so now you have the gameplay, which is what you need for a live service game. Now have certain things add to it, expand upon that, have us make things from scratch, which you do. Let's get these car repairs. Let's get a little Mad Max built this car from scratch going so we can survive.
Mm,
Add some elements from what's that game called? Dead Rising, but you're in an open world. I mean, this game is should have been gold. You already have a whole bunch of zombies running around, and now you add on to that system.
hmm
because the system has to be easy for it has to be able to have a life of its own.
Mm.
That's what I believe what live service games should have. But other than that, man, you have Resistance Fall of Man. You do nothing with that. You could have did something with Killzone.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of IPs that you could. It's just the spices that you're using. You're trying to make it. You're trying to make it what exactly? What is Killzone? Do you guys know one single storyline about Killzone?
That's more of a Tim question because I couldn't tell you.
I don't know one villain. There's not one iconic villain in
Yeah.
Killzone. Not one iconic moment in Killzone. There's not one single thing except
The design.
Hasbruten.
Yeah, the design of the costumes. That's it.
The Swastika inspired.
Whoa.
I mean,
Trench
the
coat.
main villain was the dictator Fasari, but yeah, Killzone, like by the time it started to get like that steady groove, it was already over. But then that's what I'm saying. Like, I do feel like, with the storytelling skill that you have right now, and then plus also like there was also a big time gap between Killzone 1 and Killzone 2. And then Killzone 3 came out. It was like that Uncharted formula. Oh, there was a little period in between, and then 3 came right out after that, and here's a 4 just to wrap everything up.
Mm.
But they had some good ones on the PSP as well. I just overall, bro, I just feel like, yeah, man, y'all are in dangerous waters. I mean, y'all have made some good, smart moves, but this one is out of your price range, man. And I think you should just focus on, how can you collaborate with this particular system
Hmm.
and just move forward from there. Like I said, man, if you really want to focus on what you want to offer, just do that. Like you have amazing studios, man, but you got to give them some breathing room.
Bro,
And the smaller ones, do not give them these little passion projects
Yeah.
that you know that is such a heavy scale and then blame them for it.
Yeah. 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 Hey, we want to make a God of War live service game. Hey, Ben Studios, we're not making Days Gone 2. Work on it. What?
No,
but we've never done we don't have any. Figure it out.
you're gonna ask him for another siphon filter, like by Ben Studios.
By
Like,
Ben Studios.
come
Yeah.
on. Like, just do it.
Why would we make a Siren Filter game when we have all these other movies and espionage films to pull from that we can easily package?
Even another one, people been saying, another SOCOM series. Like there's a
Hey,
group of
listen,
people who love that.
it's not happening, brother. It's not happening. See, this is what I don't understand. You want to win. You have your trophies and how you won that championship series, but you're not interested in building a team for it. You
Mhm.
want you want the hockey team to play basketball. You want the baseball team to do NASCAR.
Yeah.
You right now you had Little Big Planet. You could have did your little Big Planet Mario Kart, Mario Party, a game. You know what I'm saying? You could have had your little Big Planet slash Sims slash what's that game from Nintendo? Animal Crossing. I see the vision, man.
Mhm. Even if you took Little Big Planet with the concept that they had for Dreams, Dreams was a great idea. A great idea that Sony just didn't support.
Yeah, they didn't support it. They didn't support it, bro.
Y'all could have had your own Minecraft,
Our own Mario Maker.
own Mario Maker.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, especially, and that's why, like, Media Molecule, I heard, like, bro, that's a studio that deserves so much better.
Yeah, I guess just in just to wrap up the topic, I just like what we all said, it's just something where I think at some point the failure. I don't know what failure it's going to really take at this point, but at some point the failure is going to be that hard stop for not only Sony but a lot of these companies of like stop trying to make fetch happen. Like it's just not gonna. It's okay. It's not gonna happen. Not like this, at least. You gotta approach it from a different angle.
Like the Vince McMahon era is over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not happening,
The
dog.
era of reckless expansion has come to a close. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Hate to be the
At
bearer of
all
bad news,
costs.
but no more Prada shoes.
Boy.
But to move it to the next topic proper, like you said earlier, S rank, yes, EA. Speaking of companies that tend to maybe extend a little bit more than they should, EA has officially not only canceled the Black Panther game, but closed the studio that was making the Black Panther game. And with the benefit of hindsight, because we were supposed to record last week and we weren't able to, their public announcement did not make anything any clearer. It just seemed like they just canceled it. But we now know from developers and insider leaks and things like that the main reason driving the cancellation was that the game was still in pre-production phase 4 years into development. Which, as a company, when you're like, where are we at this game? I'm kind of get a playable build. It's like, oh, we're not there yet. It's like, we announced this in 2021. What do you mean it's not there yet? Show me T'Challa. So, fellas, what do we think about the cancellation of the Black Panther game that EA was cooking up from the developers of the Shadow of Mordor, mind you? Go ahead.
To be honest, I feel like they were trying to bank off the window of Marvel movies and shows and the highlight that they were having. Like, remember that whole, like, when they released Avengers, I was like, oh yeah, Avengers was popping. Marvel's what's to say, Phase 4 was doing so well until it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like, yeah, because like it wasn't until like people say like, oh yeah, Thunderbolts, we're back or something like that. Like, to be honest, like, yeah, like Phase 4 got very stagnant, especially with the legal issues and all that other stuff. It just, certain shows was very hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they were trying to bank off that, like how you said, always have a connecting property, even though technically it's going to be something different. And I just feel like, yeah, it took too long. The hype has died down. Like, yes, I would feel like a very Black Panther centric game would actually be very good in the long scale of things, especially for people who are really heavily influenced, like, or read about that actual particular series. But they can realize, no, because to be honest, a lot of people have a very commercialized view of Black Panther due to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I feel like that's what is also not very fair, because I kind of do feel like it kind of goes back to the, like, even like, for example, like, like when you see the tweets about The Last of Us, like, oh, they killed off the main character. I don't want to watch this. No, I was like, did you not play the game, sir? No.
Yeah.
It's an adaptation to that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like with Black Panther, like, if the villain is Dr. Voodoo, you need to know who Dr. Voodoo is. Oh, but where's Killmonger? Like, more villains, bro.
He has more arch
There are
enemies.
there are more villains.
Yeah.
Or even, to even take it even further, which Black Panther? You could have done T'Chaka, you could have gone T'Challa, or you could have even done the original one.
So that was the interesting thing about this game. Apparently, the story premise that they were working off of, it was actually supposed to be, you're supposed to start off with the son of T'Challa. And throughout the game, you end up playing as him, T'Challa, Killmonger, and Shuri.
See, yeah, they were trying to do
Batman.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah.
But see, that was gonna be my pushback to Tim. I was like, I think people don't know about Black Panther Extended because they don't do games like this. So, like, this is your chance. Like, for example, yes, it's a little bit easier because it's Batman, but I think the Batman Arkham games did a good job of recognizing that the kids, us who grew up on the Batman animated series, was a little bit older, so we can introduce some more mature terms and settings that are in the comic books, while also keeping the same familiar voices of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy. So it's a perfect blend of, like, we're maturing with you guys. Joker is killing these people. You're not giving them laughing gas. He's murdering them. Raish and his crew, they're terrorists. It ain't no league. No, they're terrorists. They're eco-terrorists.
We didn't even know we needed this game. When we saw the Arkham trailer, we was like, yo, what is this? We were actually bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I say Black to Black Panther, I'm thinking they were probably gonna model this after the Gotham Knights. That's why I said that.
No, which is a bad idea.
Yeah, that's
terrible idea. Terrible idea.
Yeah, because like I said,
my thing is,
everybody's doing the Ninja Turtles formula.
No, you don't do that because now,
It's four archetypes because you already know who Shuri was going to be.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Shuri was going to be Donatello.
Hmm.
Killmonger is Raphael. T'Challa is the noble, agile leader. And of course, T'Challa's son, oh yeah, the kid, energetic, tricky.
Inexperienced, but
Yeah, like,
nah, man, no, no, sir, no, sir. No, yeah, yeah. Because the thing is, with what you could have did with Black Panther, I think you had a cheat code from the Avengers game that you saw.
Hmm.
That was an easy cheat code,
Hmm.
right? Let's make our own Black Panther slash Hulk Ultimate Destruction slash uh
Like I said in the
uh
group chat, a T for Team Wolverine's Revenge, but with
T for
T'Challa.
T Wolverines, but with T'Challa. Predator Claw. I want to do that for the long. Please let me do one Predator Claw. Just one Predator Claw. That's it, man. You know what I'm saying? And then you could have you could have had your M'Baku moment, you feel me? And just recreate that. Go a little bit more fantastical with the game. You can do that. It's a game. I'm not trying to play ultra realistic versions of these
Absolutely,
characters, man.
absolutely.
You think I wanted to play the Bruce Banner's Hawk from the first Hawk movie as a game? No. I want Boxing Glove, Hard Hawk. I want Wrecking Ball, Stop Hawk, Sun Flat, the Green Elbow. Yeah, I want that. I mean, I just don't understand what's wrong with giving us a game. Like, we just want a game. What's the last video game that you've played? Now, if you're gonna give me something on the level of Spider-Man, I don't mind. But you're not.
But see, that's the thing that I found
then to be
confusing.
honest,
Go ahead,
I
sir.
also do feel like with Black Panther, there's also a lot of mystical themes that I
Which is
kind of feel.
fine.
That's cool.
No,
That's fun.
fine for us.
No, Tim,
No, no,
look
no,
at.
no, no.
Mm-mm.
Honestly, bro, it does play a role sometimes, bro. Like, and I say this because I had a recent conversation with some people. Like, of course, the conversation started around sinners, but then when they were talking about like African display of things, like a lot of people don't even know that in Black Panther. Like, no, bro, there's actual gods. Like he's an avatar for the god. Like, yes, Marvel Rivals, oh boss, like, but no,
That's how I
like
was saying. Marvel Rivals
there's a
hints at it.
whole
Like his ultimate is
yeah
a
hints,
projection of boss.
hints, hints.
Like,
But then, like I said, when you get like to Joy's point or what he said earlier, when you're getting comic rich material like Arkham scale, because like there was a lot of comical hints. But then the thing about it is like in this world when it comes to us, bro, like there's a lot of things that like, and especially like I do feel like the studio, the Shadows of Mortal people, they are very excellent people. But then the thing about it is, like, I do feel like when you're doing something that is of a different race than you, it's like there's a lot of checks and balances, especially since if you're not of that actual race, how do you see yourself in this product? Like sometimes it does impact it. That's why a lot of people said, like, when they do other cultures, a lot of cultures feel appropriated or not properly represented. Because when you look at it, look who's creating it. Like a lot of Hawaiians are upset with this Lilo and Stitch movie. Like they are upset. Like they feel slapped in the face, and I do too for them too, because especially when you understand, like especially what Hawaii is really going through, it's just. But then to get back on topic, I do feel like yes, it was a timely window of things, of course, but then I also feel like there's a lot of other themes that, yeah, it could have been just a game, but then Black Panther is a very rich story, and I do feel like if they would have tried to make it Marvel Marvel Cinematic Universe type of story, it's not going to work.
no.
Like you have to get deep into that stuff because like a lot of people didn't even realize the character that his love interest, she becomes a villain.
How would
That's why
we?
like that's why I was looking at this love story is like, bro, this is not going to go anywhere. I mean, technically it didn't because of obvious reasons, but
Mm.
like no, bro, she becomes a villain.
But I think Tim, like I feel like it's one of those things where it's like you almost, at least I could speak from myself. Like I feel like I'm being punished as a consumer for their lack of output. Of like, well, people don't know this. It's like, yeah, you haven't put out a Black Panther cartoon. You haven't put out a Black Panther. Like, there's nothing. You haven't done anything to expand on this in a way that the audience can consume.
It's because there's a reason why. Like even like the last set of Black Panther comics that I have. Look who's the writer. Tahesi who? It's because your own people have to take charge of something like that. And that is why some of those comics are some of the best written in the world. Is your own people have to take charge of it. But then it also kind of makes you look at like, all right, the studio faces. Where's the studio located? Who is there? Like it's tricky, yes. It's tricky,
Mm,
yes. It's not. It's especially when you start to really talk about race and stuff like that. But we've talked about it over the past few years. You see how it echoes from one group to the next, and it probably could impact this product in a way. Because to be honest, it's like yes, even the one with Captain America, like to me that story, like it's gonna be hack and slash again, like I said, hack and slash. Like Wolverine's revenge. Here's a helicopter scene. Have a good day.
mm.
But then if you're doing a fully centric Black Panther story, where like no, he's not going to New York, bro. He's in Wakanda fighting his. Because remember, he has actual enemies
Yeah.
in Wakanda. So that means this is going to be a heavily Negro focused game.
If you wanted to simplify it even more, his biggest ongoing. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, if you're seeing this video and you're a longtime pod watcher, you already know what time it is. If you're not, I'm gonna explain it anyway. Um, Pretty much, unfortunately, this last episode that we recorded, we actually did record it to completion. However, unfortunately, for reasons I still don't quite understand, on the playback, about halfway through the episode, the sound cut out. Don't know why. Never have had this problem before. But we were unable to finish the original 2.5 hour podcast. Mm, it hurt. It hurt to not be able to salvage it. I tried everything I could. Um, as you can see, obviously, we're still trying to work out some of the kinks behind the scenes. So apologies that we're not going to be able to get out the content in the original way that we wanted to. So please just enjoy what we were able to record, and hopefully next time around we'll have a setup that at least offers some type of backup for our ongoing tech issues. Till next time, y'all. Peace.